We all know Andre Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, the best receivers. By the end of the day, both are future Hall of Famers. I would have to say if they stay healthy, And Randy Moss, another future Hall of Famer. Roddy White, and then Megatron. We know he can be one if he's consistent. But I wanted to go to the breakout stars and sleepers. Michael Crabtree. How impressive was he after that lengthy holdout to come in and show the professionalism that he did last season?
People don't understand how good he was because his numbers were good. They weren't great from a fantasy perspective. They were like a number 2 or 3 guy from a fantasy perspective. He came in there without having done any training camp and was the best receiver on that team by far day one and was making great catches. He's one of those guys, people haven't watched the 49ers a lot. If you watch him, you know he's going to be great.
Yeah.
And receivers make a huge jump from year 1 to year 2. He's someone I don't think you can reach early enough to take him. He's one of those guys I'm on the table for this year, and it seems like, okay, it's obvious, Crabtree has a lot of hype, but he's only going 15 to 20, so or 20th among receivers. Just take him before that, because I think he could be a top 5 guy. He could be a guy that goes 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, now.
And the same type of player, Hakeem Nicks of the Giants. I mean, he has superstar potential as well.
Same potential. I don't know if he has the polish quite yet.
Oh, you're right. The route running, right? Absolutely.
So he's someone I love. I want to take. I'm not standing on the table. I'm standing next to the table, and I want him. But he's more of a boomer bust. You're kind of rolling the dice. I mean, I'm very confident in Crabtree. I like Knicks, but there's some immaturity questions about him. Injuries, maybe. You have other great receivers on that team. Whereas Crabtree's a number 1 guy. There's no even number 2 there. There's a bunch of 3s and 4s. Whereas on the Giants, you're going to have Steve Smith getting 1,000 yards. Now, I think Knicks can do better than Steve Smith, maybe, but they're going to be close.
Well, and also Mario Manningham, who will get 700 himself.
Right.
And you never know. He could break out, So
I totally agree.
For the bus. Now, Ocho, we talked about Ocho Cinco earlier. Braylon Edwards, I know exactly why. We won't talk about him. Even though he's in a contract year, he's still an interesting case. But Jeremy Maclin, interesting.
Well, I tried to pick some guys here that, people are taking early. I'm shocked how early Braylon Edwards is going. To me, he's not the best receiver on that team. He's actually not even one of the best 2 receivers on that team. If I'm starting an NFL team and I'm just picking among the Jets receivers, my first pick is Santonio Holmes.
Right.
Who is somehow almost underrated despite being a Super Bowl hero.
Yeah,
he's going to miss 4 games.
Yeah,
but even in fantasy leagues, I'd take him over Braylon Edwards because he's going to go later, and I think he'll help you out more. And Jericho Cotchery, I think, is a better player than Edwards, too. You asked about Maclin, though. I got to answer your question. He's a younger guy that's getting taken very early based on some really exciting rookie year production that came off of some great deep balls from Donovan McNabb. I don't know if Kevin Cobb makes those same deep passes. He seems like a boomer bust guy, and that
not
just
as refined as a route runner
no.
as Deshaun. That's
no.
amazing to him.
They had 2 Deshaun. He's like a poor man's Deshaun Jackson. But how many of those bombs are they going to be throwing? Donovan McNabb, if he does one thing well, among the last 10 years, he's one of the 2 or 3 best deep ball throwers, accurate bombs. And that's what Maclin was catching. So it's a lot of those 3-catch, 100-yard days. I don't think they're going to be happening.
Right. That's for sure. And that's an interesting point, definitely. Because like with Deshaun Jackson, that's why he's excelled to be an overall wide receiver because of the route running and intelligence.
And he's more versatile. I think Kevin Cobb is going to be more dink and dunk, and Deshaun Jackson can take those short passes and go long. Brent Selleck is another guy that can do that at the tight end position. So I think Maclin will fall off.